Yes, that is my new logo for my new independent channel here, 100 Feathers. This logo was designed and animated by Zachary Carson, so big shout out to him and the 2 months long back and forth we did with designing the logo and going over the animation. I'll leave his info in the description below if you want to check out his other work. I'll be using that name for everything I produce independently away from a slice of gaming, so things like the review series with 100 Girlfriends, Osa Era, the comparison series, and my other personal projects that I have in various forms of pre-production that I have going on in the background. And I've been looking into the possibility of doing some streaming too here on the channel during my downtime, so I want to see how I can fit that into my schedule, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how the name and logo turned out. I've always thought I would name my production company like Moonlight Valley or something like that, but I decided to lean more into the owl motif since Rowlet has become so synonymous with my identity online now. Feathers or Talons was the obvious thing to use in the name, and 100 Girlfriends was the series that got me the followers that I have today, so I had to incorporate that somehow. After a bunch of different combinations of words meaning 100 and owls and parts of owls, I eventually settled on 100th Feathers, but I kept misspelling it in my email conversations with Zachary, so I decided I should probably change it to something I know I can regularly type and pronounce properly. So 100 Feather Productions was born. But enough of this stuff you guys probably don't care about, you're here for the fluffy, cutesy, flirty daily life. So let's move on to that. I'm Moonlight150, and this is my overview of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, Chapter 224, Rento's Daily Life with His Girlfriends Part 7. Be sure to show your support for everyone over at Zoonscans for the hard work they put in for getting these chapters out to us, as well as support the official release in your regions to support the original creator so the series can continue on. Now, onto the diabetes-inducing cuteness. Hit it, Earl. My beloved musical queen Himeka is up first in this montage of dates in Himeka's abnormal lap pillow, with the two of them chilling in Rento's room as he offers her his lap as a pillow as they chit-chat about his other girlfriends. You know, as one does when spending time with their significant other, talking about your other significant other. But the mood to be abnormal hits Himeka, so she decides to flip the scenario on its head and offers Rentaro to be his lap pillow, which really isn't all that abnormal, dear. Even Rentaro points that out. But I'm not complaining. This gives us this amazing shot of Himeka looking all smugly grinning at the camera, and that's all I could ask for. Moving on. In a cuddly-wuddly date, what could be so great? Oh, damn it, Zoon, now you've sealed my fate. You've got me rhyming, now there's no way to bail. So I'll ride this train straight down this lovebird rail. Rentaro and Usuchan are cozy and warm, snuggled together in their own little form. The air's getting sweeter, their faces draw near. It's wholesome, it's tender, and maybe too dear. A hug turns to kissing, the closeness won't flee, but the publisher said no, so they're stuck in PG. Though with a higher rating, oh the things we might see. This scene would be steamier than a hot cup of tea. Beneath the shared blanket, they sink in so tight. One blanket between them, the world out of sight. They whisper and smile, letting moments just flow. Two lovebirds who've nowhere but closer to go.
Whether you're cheering or rolling your eyes, he'll keep on rhyming, no compromise. So settle in, we're far from through. Hit that subscribe button, it's what y'all should do.
Okay, whew. The rhyming curse has been lifted, back to regular coverage. In overflowing Matsuri Kohai, the rivalry between Matsuri and Saki is still going strong as Saki wishes to get back at Matsuri for beating her at thumb wrestling. So she asks Rentaro what Matsuri is good at so she can beat her at her own game. Which, as we all know, Matsuri is known for two things, being British, I mean her gothic Lolita fashion, and making yakisoba. So Saki does just that and begins making yakisoba while sporting some gothic Lolita fashion, which Rentaro more than adores because his beloved girlfriend made it for him, even though it looks like a hot mess and probably tastes just as bad.
Yikes!
Also, what are those knife skills? It looks like she's about to shank someone in Call of Duty. But, like I said, because one of his girlfriends made the food for him, he loves it and eats it without complaint, and even asks for more. In Eru's first Flirty Day Life appearance, aptly named Twin Date, we're back in Rentaro's room. At least it's not a movie date. As they just spend the time doing what else but talking about her twin tails, and brushing them where Rentaro says he could spend his whole life brushing them and never get tired of it. And then Eru asks if brushing them is just as fun as playing Tears of the Kingdom, which Rentaro agrees. After hearing that confirmation, Eru is all heartstruck and then wishes for a kiss for repayment. So Mai is still the holder of the title of girlfriend who took the longest for an on-screen kiss, though Eru is right behind her in those rankings. See fellas, all you have to do to get a girl to kiss you is to compliment her hair by comparing it to the 8th best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch platform. Who knew it was that simple? Though it seems this kiss was a trap as Eru wrapped her twin tails around Rentorou's throat in order to be able to lunge him onto the bed. Calm yourself, girl, it's your first date with him. Damn, you're bold. Tama and Rentaro are out in a need for a quick breather on a stroll, and they do just that. She is then remiss about how actual cats don't have to worry about lugging around things like milk wagons, and how she is jealous of girls like Karane, and their lack of bazongas. About how lean they are and more cat-like they are. As they need to get going, but Tama is lacking the motivation to leave the comfort of the table. Much like me every morning not wanting to leave my bed before work. So Rentaro offers to help relieve her burden with her walking but ends up grabbing her by her hooters, which Tama doesn't mind as it takes all the stress away. But Rentaro, being Mr. Decent himself, won't have any of that and just ended up carrying her all the rest of the way. It's Matsuri's rebuttal in overthrowing Saki, as Matsuri is now fuming that Saki was It's Matsuri's rebuttal in overthrowing Saki, as Matsuri is now fuming that Saki was bragging that Rentaro enjoyed Saki soba. So now she wishes to be better than her at something that Saki does best, which unfortunately Saki doesn't really do anything best, other than be older than the rest of the student girlfriends, which is exactly the answer Rentaro gives her, that being older is really the only thing Saki has going for her, and Matsuri takes that as her cue to get going, and immediately comes back as not just an 18-year-old form like we have seen many times in this series, but 19-year-old Matsuri, now beating Saki by a whole year. And I love the note here that she went and borrowed from Ira's wardrobe. But now it's time for the first offshoot of Zunscan Word of the Week for Zunscan Slang of the Week. This week being the phrase sticky wicket. It's a phrase from the UK that originated in the sport of cricket, where a pitch becomes a sticky wicket because it is soft and wet because of the rain, causing the ball to behave unpredictably, making it harder for batsmen to score runs. And over time the term sticky wicket has become an idiom for a tricky, awkward, or problematic situation that's hard to deal with. And that was the first installment of Zunscan Slang of the Week. And much like Kasuri, when you're older than Rentaro, instead of seeing how cool he is, you tend to see how cute he is. Word on the wind is there may be some particularly strange weather imitating autumnal climate today, so Rentaro and Uto jump at the opportunity to take advantage of the weird weather phenomenon. And only in this town can you experience the wonders of different seasons, like enjoying a sword fighting competition on the beach, and the fallen leaves of autumn without ever leaving spring. But I digress, it's not like they are purposefully avoiding doing anything winter related to spite me, right? But yeah, this segment is just Uto and Rentaro throwing some autumn leaves at each other. That's it. Earl, help me out here. Rin develops a taste for blood in The Taste of Blood, where Rin and Rentaro's home movie date is interrupted because the cup Rentaro was drinking from had a chip in it, so Rentaro cut his lip on it and started bleeding, and Rin lets the intrusive thoughts take over as she helps herself to a taste, but is immediately embarrassed by her actions, and then we actually get a good look at the cut the glass left, and damn, that's a pretty nasty nash, Rentaro. But not being bothered by her girlfriend suddenly craving his blood, Rin is overcome by relief and just continues to then just help herself to some more. Rentaro and Meru are discussing pet names in Fairy Tail Chan, as they discuss adding Chan to one's name when you're in a relationship with one another, with Meru adding that it makes the relationship feel more fairy tale-y. So Rentaro offers to start calling her Meru-chan instead of the more mature sounding Meru-san, and he does just that and calls her Meru-chan, which makes Meru's heart all aflutter. But honestly, all these girls are so down bad for him, he could call them just about anything and they'd be okay with it. Meru then in turn calls him Ren-chan, and even though it sets his heart aflutter, it seems it didn't do much for Meru herself, and she will continue to use the Kun honorific instead. And even though Rentaro liked being called Ren-chan by Meru, he won't admit it to her because she's already made up her mind. Now, why is this honorific stuff a big deal? Let me, an American who only speaks English, explain to you all the intricacies of the Japanese honorific system. It all starts with, lastly, Hahari and Rentaro are visiting a haunted house rumored to contain Japanese-style ghosts, despite the cast using Western-style costumes. As it turns out, this was all Hahari's idea, as she wanted Rentaro to be scared and need her to protect him in mommy mode. But it backfires on her as it turns out that she turns out to be the one scared, though Rentaro seems to be in quite the sticky wicket himself, as Hahari's massive memories are distracting him from the scary stuff happening around him. So much so that he ends up clearing his mind so much that he ignores the whole haunted house to not think about them. Why yes, small ghost child, you were beaten by a pair of boobs. I too hope this is how I meet my end. And that will do it for this installment of the Flirty Dating Life chapters. Now that we've hit 7 of these chapters, it's interesting to look at the numbers. And you can tell Nakamura has been careful with planning these out. With 7 chapters and 34 girlfriends, it's been pretty evenly distributed as you can get, with no girlfriend reaching 4 appearances yet, meaning no girlfriend in particular has been favored. So it makes predicting this kind of fun and a little on the easy side as I got 9 out of 10 correct. I know I gave you guys a pool of 13, which was a little cheating, but karma got me with Matsuri coming out of nowhere with the steel chair. I mean, she was all over this chapter to get me good, but I think it's safe to say the remaining from that pool, that being Nano, Mai, Momoha, Nemu, and Girlfriend 35, will be the shoo-ins for part 8. So there you go. That's half the chapter predicted 3 months in advance. I'll figure out the rest in the meantime. Let me know which date was your favorite in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. It's break week yet again as It's break week again yet in Japan. It's break week. It's break week. It's break
it down for you, Mordecai.
It's break week yet again as Japan is celebrating Oben, so I'll be doing some comparison videos sometime soon, so leave some suggestions down below on what chapters you want me to cover, and maybe I'll try to find some time to stream sometime soon. I've been Moonlight150, and I will see you all on the next video.